Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari Gopi Janavalabha Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari Gopi Janavalabha Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarastim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayan Nasta Prayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. So continuing reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 32, text number 27. Etavan Neva Yogena Etavan Neva Yogena Samagrini Hayoginaha Samagrini Hayoginaha Yujyate Brahmato Yato Yujyate Bhimato Yato Yada Sangastu Krishnatsa Yada Sangastu Krishnasaha Etavaneva Yogena Samagrini Hayoginaha Yujyate Bhimato Yato Yada Sangastu Krishnasaha Etavaneva Yogena Samagrini Hayoginaha Yujyate Bhimato Yato Yad Asangastu Krishnasaha Etavaneva Yogena Samagrini Hayoginaha Yujyate Bhimato Yato Yada Sangastu Krishnasaha Etavaneva Yogena Samagina Yogina Yujyate Bhimato Yato Yada Sangastu Krishnasaha Etavaneva Yogena Samagrihina Yoginaha Yuktate Bhimato Yato Yada Sangastu Krishnasaha. What did you say? Etavaneva Yogena Samagrihina Yoginaha Yujyate Bhimato Yato Yada Sangastu Krishnasaha Etavaneva Yogena Samagrina Yoginaha Yujyate Bhimato Yato Yada Sangastu Krishnasaha Etavan of such a measure Eva just Yogina by yoga practice Samagrina all Eha in this world Yoginaha of the yogi Yujyate is achieved Abhimata desired. He, certainly. Ataha, purpose. Yat, which. Asanga, detachment. Tu, indeed. Krunasaha, completely. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki. The greatest common understanding for all yogis is complete detachment from matter, which can be achieved by different kinds of yoga. I'll read the translation again. The greatest common understanding for all yogis is complete detachment from matter, which can be achieved by different kinds of yoga. Purport. There are three kinds of yoga, namely Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Astanga Yoga. Devotees, jnanis, and yogis all try to get out of the material entanglement. The jnanis try to detach their essential activities from material engagement. The jnani yogi thinks that matter is false and that Brahman is truth. He tries, therefore, by cultivation of knowledge, to detach the senses from material enjoyment. The Astangi yogis also try to control the senses. The devotees, however, try to engage the senses in the service of the Lord. Therefore, it appears that the activities of the bhakta devotees are better than those of the jnanis and yogis. The mystic yogis simply try to control the senses by practicing the 8 divisions of yoga: yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, etc. And the jnanis try by mental reasoning to understand that the sense enjoyment is false. But the easiest and most direct process is to engage the senses in the service of the Lord. The purpose of all yogis is to detach one's sense activities from this material world. The final aims, however, are different. The jnanis want to become one with the Brahman effulgence. Yogis want to realize Paramatma, and devotees want to develop Krishna consciousness and transcendental loving service to the Lord. That loving service is the perfect stage of sense control. The senses are actually active symptoms of life, and they cannot be stopped. They can be detached only if there is superior engagement. As is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, Param Drishta Nivartate, the activities of the senses can be stopped if they are given superior engagements. The supreme engagement is engagement of the senses in the service of the Lord. That is the purpose of all yoga. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation again. The greatest common understanding for all yogis is complete detachment from matter, which can be achieved by different kinds of yoga. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jananjana Salakaya Chakshu Ummilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. By the mercy of my spiritual master, he is forcing open my eyes with a torchlight of transcendental knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Nama Om Vishnu Pada Krishna Pista Bodhale Shumilitamal Krishna Gu Swamaniti Namane. Detachment from matter. So that in Kali Yuga is a very difficult thing, because in Kali Yuga, which is characterized as being, in this age of Kali, men are quarrelsome, unlucky, quarrelsome, always disturbed, but there is also the hypocrisy and the quarrel and hypocrisy. You know, we're quarreling, the person sitting on the Vyasasana is not qualified. There's so many things in Kali Yuga where it is, not so good. So Kali Yuga is a very difficult time for this detachment and sense control. So we're so fortunate that we have been graced by Srila Prabhupada's books and by his devotees. They have come and they have lifted us out of the quagmire of a very degraded life, and they have given us a great opportunity. And it can actually be very easily done, or we can become very mentally disturbed and think it is all too difficult like that. But actually it is very easy. You have to just simply come, because this is a process of bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga is just where you do something for Krishna. It can be anything. Simply chanting the holy name, which is the best and the easiest means. And I should not say just the holy name, but by chanting the names of the Lord, one is able to directly associate with the Lord. So this is a very wonderful thing that we've been given in this Kali Yuga, that simply by chanting the Maha Mantra we can get direct association with the Lord. And with that association, if we do it in the right mood, if we're in a prayerful mood, please, my dear Lord, engage me in your loving service, because this is what Prabhupada is saying in the very end of this purport. The supreme engagement is engagement of the senses in the service of the Lord. So this is the best thing. Instead of trying to be a jnani and reading all the scriptures and knowing all the slokas, knowing Bhagavad Gita and having all this knowledge, the conclusion of all knowledge is this bhakti. Just do some loving service to the Lord. And by doing this, one is able to please Krishna, and by pleasing Krishna, all your problems are solved. Literally, everything, no problems at all, just by pleasing the Lord. So it's actually a very simple and sublime process. But we are hearing here from Lord Kapila Dev, who was in Satya Yuga, going back many, many thousands of years, where the yoga process was the process of the age. And we hear of Kadama Muni sitting and meditating, and this pranayam, it's all they're listed here. Yama, niyama, asana, pranayam. So all these processes of withdrawing the senses, like a tortoise withdraws its limbs into the shell. So we're all going in, and then we're going inside, and then we're doing so much wonderful meditation. This is back in Satya Yuga, and we can understand that you can meditate, and basically whatever you're meditating on can become manifest. So we hear the wonderful story of the palace that could fly, and they enjoyed so much in this material world that we're in, but it was so heavenly and opulent and very, very wonderful. So this was the yoga back in Satya Yuga, but nowadays, dear oh dear, we're in Kali Yuga, where we're full of faults, and it is a very difficult process to try and be a yogi. So we shouldn't pretend that we are, in full control of our senses, and we have got full control of our breath restraint, and everything is all very yogic, so to speak. We should be having the mood of our previous acharyas, actually. Their mood is this Trinadapi, obviously coming from Lord Chaitanya, Trinadapi, Sinichina, Turopi, Sinichina, Amanina, Minadina, Kirtaniya, Sadahari. So even just in that one verse from the Shikshastakam, there is so much of the essence is there, that if we have this right mood, this mood of humility and feeling very unqualified, actually, and they're in that position of being very humble and feeling very unqualified, then we can call out for the mercy. We can sincerely ask for some assistance like that. Whereas if we're in a very proud position, we're not so sincere in our attempts, of even chanting the Maha Mantra. The sincerity is not so strong. But when we're in a more honest position of, I am low and fallen and devoid of all good qualities, when we're very honest with ourselves, then we are in the right position to call out for assistance like that. And when we're calling out for assistance, we can ask it from the deity, but we can also ask it from all the devotees. Have you got some service that I can do? Because it is this service that transcends us beyond the modes of material nature. It is also mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita that one who engages in this devotional service transcends the modes of material nature. So sometimes it's a little bit difficult to understand what are these modes of material nature. It is what is pushing us in this material world, is attracting us to the opposite sex. It is attracting us to getting a big bank balance, and like that, it's what's pushing us in this material world. So if we're able to or those pushings, if those pushings of the modes of material nature are able to be eased a little bit, and Krishna says that when we engage in his service, these modes are a lot easier to overcome. So then, therefore, we can become more properly situated. Our mind becomes more peaceful. And then when our mind is more peaceful, then we are able to think of the Lord, which is actually really what the goal is. The goal is to think of Krishna 24 hours a day. And that may So everybody's on different levels of advancement. So when we say thinking of Krishna 24 hours a day, some people may scoff at that, thinking, why would you want to do such a thing? We've got so many other things to achieve. One in the mode of passion is thinking, I've got no time to think of Krishna 24 hours a day. I've got so many goals I've got to achieve. But no. If we really, truly understand who Krishna is and how beautiful he is and how he is situated in every atom and he's in control of everything, anyhow. He's in control of everything. And if we can accept that actually we are not the controllers, we are not the doers, it is Krishna who is in control of everything. If we can come to this conclusion, which has been given to us in the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and all the other books that we've been given, the conclusion is that Krishna is the cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the cause of everything. So if we can humbly accept that Krishna is the cause of everything, then we're getting close to that position where we can surrender our life to Krishna. Again, on different levels, surrendering to Krishna. And that just brings me now to the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is Jnana Yoga, which is talking all about the yoga. And the very first verse goes like this. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work. So this is us as grihastas. One who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who is and works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life. So that is a very, very powerful statement coming from the Lord. One who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life. And he is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no duty. So we're not just going to sit there and go neti, I'm not going to do anything. No, we're going to be active. So we can go and work. We can provide for our families. We can have an honest job like that. And we can offer some of those fruits to Krishna. And that is as Krishna is saying here, he is in the renounced order of life. So you can already achieve the highest goal even as a grihasta. You can be in the renounced order of life. So we shouldn't think that, in the future, I'll become a great devotee. No, you can be great devotees right now. When you're going to work, you're going to your jobs, and you're having to absorb your mind in so many other things. How are we going to make profit? What are the other workers doing? And so many managerial duties to be done. So you can do all that and still be very highly situated in your consciousness because you're not attached to the fruits of your labor. You are understanding that Krishna is the cause of all causes. So he is giving us the ability. We understand he is the ability in man. He is giving us the strength to walk, the ability to speak. Everything is coming from Krishna. So if we see it like that, we can be a real yogi. We can appreciate that whatever abilities I have, they have been gifted to me because of my previous activities and past lives and so on and so forth. Where I am now is actually, you could say I've earned it a little bit, but it is being ordained by the supreme will of the Lord. So he has given us the tick that yes, you are able to walk, you are able to talk. This is actually a blessing. We take it for granted that we can walk and talk. But these are blessings from the Lord. So when we utilize those activities and we create some karma, some reaction, some good results, ultimately, financial rewards, then if we are a little bit detached from those activities, we can offer the fruits to Krishna. And by doing that, immediately you're in the renounced order of life. So this is a whole science on how to become Krishna conscious in this Kali Yuga. You can offer some activities and ultimately supporting the Sankirtan movement, because the Sankirtan movement is taking the holy name out and distributing it freely. Last night we went to Queen Street and then we went down into the viaduct where they're doing this whole sailing racing thing. It's a big thing for those that are more materially inclined. So there was thousands of people down there. And what were they all doing? They were sitting there with their cold beers, drinking on the verandas in the sun, thinking they're all very, sophisticated. And, this is us. This is a Kiwi thing to do. We sit there and we drink beer and we talk so much nonsense. But then in the distance, Lord Chaitanya had the plan, and we went in, right into the viaduct, right in past all these bars that they had. There must have been, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 bars there, all full with people, packed, everyone there drinking. And then the holy name came along. And the loud chanting of the holy name was just penetrated that whole atmosphere. And you could see different people. Again, we're all on different levels. Some people were a little bit shocked, and some people were in ecstasy to see us. They were clapping and dancing and carrying on. So this is Lord Chaitanya's mercy, that even with no qualification, you could be sitting there eating a steak, you're eating the cow and you're drinking alcohol, but still Mahaprabhu has ordained that the holy name will come and go into your ears and penetrate into your heart. So this was great mercy on all those fortunate souls that were there. They were thinking that they were going to have a certain type of evening, and we came along and completely changed it. Because as soon as the Harinam party had been and then gone, they wouldn't be able to forget that. It would be in their minds that these Hare Krishna people came in and they had their cymbals and their drums and they were chanting the holy names of the Lord. So this is Lord Chaitanya's mercy on everybody. There is, we can understand the pastimes like with Jagai and Madai and having no qualification. But still you get to hear the holy names of the Lord loudly chanted, going in your ear and penetrating into your heart. So this is such a wonderful age that we're in, that, forget about the yogi things and the asanas and all the rest of it. Simply by coming across a devotee, coming across the Harinam Sankirtan party, one is given so many blessings. Because even just a moment's association, we understand, is such a great benediction for anybody to come across a devotee. So to hear the holy name loudly chanted and see the Sankirtan party, it is transforming actually. We may think, oh yeah, but no, it is a very transforming thing. It happened to me when I was very young. I was only 12 years old and I heard the cartels in the distance. And just hearing the cartels, again, we take it for granted, but just by hearing those cartels, it was transforming. It like stuck in my heart, the ch-ch-ch-ch-ch. So this is the potencies that, this is the power of the Sankirtan movement. We understand Lord Brahma being very powerful, sitting there on top of the lotus with his four heads and meditating and creating the whole universe. But still, even more wonderful than that is the holy name, because it is said that Krishna is present and all his potencies are present within the holy name, and we're able to take that and distribute that. So this is a very amazing concept that we have, and we will never fully realize the wonder of what is actually happening in this Harinam Sankirtan movement. It's a very great benediction. So we're also fortunate that we've become part of that, and we're able to assist the devotees in whether it's the deity worship, or like today the devotees are going to Rotorua. They're taking Lord Jagannath to Rotorua, yeah? Tomorrow the Lord is going to Rotorua. So this is Jagannath's mercy again. He's breaking out of the temple. But when we think about it, when Lord Chaitanya disappeared, where did he go? He went into the body of Jagannath. So, Lord Chaitanya is hiding there. And he is wanting to go out. He is restless. We hear of many pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he is sleeping. He's doing many ecstatic things, calling out Gopi Gopi, and so absorbed. So similarly, our Jagannath deity is, has the potency there. Mahaprabhu went into the Jagannath deity. So Lord Mahaprabhu tomorrow he's going to break out and he's going to go to Rotorua and he's going to distribute even more mercy. So this is the unfathomable situation that we have. We have a deity that is mad, that wants to go out all the time, which is wonderful. We're so fortunate. So we just have to assist the devotees that are making the arrangements, and then we all become intricately connected, and by offering some little fruits of our activities, we achieve a very elevated platform. So it's very easy to do if you're in the right mood. Don't try to become somebody great, just become Trinadapi, a humble servant, and then automatically you become somebody great because you're assisting such a transcendental service like that. So this is the real yoga of this age, this Harinam Sankirtan, and loudly broadcasting Lord Krishna's names to all the conditioned souls, whether they are qualified or not. Okay, I think I'll leave it there. We've hit 8 o'clock. The greatest common understanding for all yogis is complete detachment from matter, which can be achieved by different types of yoga. So that is the translation of the verse today, but we understand the Sankirtan, Harinam Sankirtan, is actually the yoga for this age. So this is our good fortune that we've been given this highest knowledge. We're not being bewildered thinking that the Hatha Yoga is going to lead me to something great. We'll be sitting there controlling our breath, but our minds, oh my God, our minds. Our minds, even Arjuna is saying in the Gita how it is so difficult to control the mind, it's more difficult than controlling the wind. So we should not try to control our minds, we should just engage our minds. And, how can I make some garlands? How can I do some service? How can I assist the devotees? How can I invite them around for prasadam? So this is how we should be absorbing our minds like this. And by absorbing our minds in the service of the devotees, then very easily Krishna will come into your mind. And he'll appear in your mind. And you'll remember the pastimes of the Lord. You'll remember, the dancing of the gopis, or this wonderful pastime we have on the back wall here where Krishna disguises himself as a boatman, and he's telling all the gopis you have to throw everything overboard. And then we relish the cheeky, mischievous, loving nature of Krishna. We become more absorbed in his qualities. We understand how great he is, but we even more relish how cheeky he is, and also how enamored he is by Radharani. We hear so many wonderful things of Krishna. Actually, I bought my... We'll finish by hearing from Prabodhananda Saraswati. We're encouraged to hear from the previous acharyas and their poetry that they speak of. So by hearing these words, it can transport us to the pastimes of the Lord, and it gives us a greater appreciation of who Krishna really is by hearing from the previous acharyas. So I'll just read a few translations, and then we'll finish. O Lord Hari, who is wonderfully splendid with limitless transcendental pastimes, who day and night stays with splendid, blinded with love, Sri Radha, who eagerly plays games with a ball in a splendid jewelled courtyard, who is the moon of teenage boys, whose transcendental form is splendidly handsome, whose smiles and laughter are splendid, whose dancing is splendid, whose expert joking is splendid, whose eyes are splendid, whose graceful threefold bending gracefulness is splendid, whose graceful limbs are decorated with splendid ornaments, whose playful moving eyebrows frustrate Kamadev's splendid bow, whose splendid glances pierce the beautiful young gopis, who eclipses the splendid deer, bees and fish, whose ocean of desires is filled with tidal waves when the moon of Sri Radhika's face rises, whose heart is wounded by the arrow of Radhika's sidelong glance, whose heart yearns to taste the nectar of Radhika's lips, whose handsome eyes break the Kanja bird's pride, whose splendid as glorious lotus flowers, whose face is more handsome than millions of full moons, whose gentle and charming laughter rebukes the jasmine buds, whose arms are anointed with splendid kumkum aguru, who is decorated with jeweled bracelets and a host of other ornaments. And on it goes. So just absorbing ourselves in the true beauty and wonder of Krishna is possible when we do some devotional service for him. By pleasing Krishna, he makes this remembrance very easy for us. So we just have to continue to do some humble service, and in this way our minds will naturally become more and more attracted to that wonderful cowherd boy, Krishna. Okay, has anyone got any questions or comments? I'll read the translation one more time. The greatest common understanding for all yogis is complete detachment from matter, which can be achieved by different types of yoga. So our yoga is dancing, chanting, and feasting. This is the real yoga. Dancing, chanting, feasting. Dancing, chanting, feasting. Dancing, chanting, feasting. That's all we do. That's all we know. So we're so fortunate. It's all you could say. We're being transported to Goloka Vrindavan simply by this dancing, chanting, and feasting. We are so fortunate. We have so much to offer to Srila Prabhupada. In fact, we should be offering him our entire life. So gradually we work towards this stage of fully surrendering to Krishna, and then we'll just continue chanting, dancing, feasting. It's a very difficult process. Okay. Everyone happy? Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanandi.
Please.